On today's show, the rookie whistle is not real, but Cooper Flagg is having a hard time with the refs right now. Why? We'll talk about that and more. Today's Locked On Mavs.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
All five. I think that's a good question.
Good morning, Isaac. All these changes, I still got my dog, Dwight Powell.
You are Locked On Mavs, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
No one's dying.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
And welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is giving you a new way to turn that energy into a bigger potential wins with college basketball parlay profit boost. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. Joining me, as always, the Postgame prodigy from the great Slightly Biased YouTube channel. We'll just even the Dallas Mavericks tonight. Slightly biased.
One more little tick in the prison cell.
So sad.
One
It's sad
more.
we're counting down remember when we were counting down the days till Mavs basketball would start again? Now here we are. Got 18 left. 18 Mavericks games left, and we'll talk about every single one of them. We'll have them here for you. If you're here right now,
Well,
shout out to you. Shout out to you.
I'm interested in hearing your opinion about this because I was talking with someone else. Just across, and it might just be that the Mavs are this bad, but across the league, I'm feeling just this overwhelming sense of like, yeah, I'm pretty ready for the playoffs now. Like, I don't really know how locked in I am to this March.
I think we always hit this in March. I think always March, and then like the end of April, we're like, all right, it's coming. Like, I think we always hit it because remember last year we were talking about March basketball as being so crazy. Today we'll talk about the game. We'll talk about Cooper Flagg's rookie whistle. We'll talk about Daniel Gafford. We'll talk about all that. But yeah, like I think we always hit this in March at some point because we're just like, man, can we just sim to the playoffs? Like we know all these teams, we know how good they are. Who's gonna surprise us? It's like the one story that we have right now is the Hornets and. Like
Yeah,
2 years ago, that story was the Mavericks. And so obviously we were all locked into March basketball because we were like, this is awesome. The Mavs are on its roll. Best record in the NBA. But I think this happens every year where we hit this point. And we're like, all right, let's just sim to the end. We know who's good. We know who's not. Like, who's going to change our minds over the next month?
I feel like it's even like weirder this year because it's like, we kind of know there's not like an awards race really. Like their MVP is locked up basically. As
Locked up for who?
Shea.
I guess so. I guess if he's minus 320 on FanDuel. Jokic plus 600, Cade plus 50. He could miss the games, but it doesn't look like
right.
It doesn't look like he's going to miss the games.
Right. The only way he wouldn't win is if he misses the game. Defensive Player of the Year, same thing. Wendy misses the game.
Do you think he's better than Luka if he has 2 MVPs and a title?
What could possibly be if Shea goes back-to-back MVPs and they win again this year? What could possibly be the argument?
just wanted to see if he would make it.
But yeah, and then the play-in teams. I guess the Hornets. The Hornets are the one where everyone's
That's
like,
the one
"Oh,
story.
could they sneak into like the 6th spot? Maybe like that would be a lot of fun." Outside of that, I don't think anyone looks at any of these play-in teams because every year you kind of talk yourself into at least maybe 2 play-in teams. We're like, let's monitor that situation.
Yeah.
Now it's like nobody believes in any of these play-in teams, really.
None.
Yeah, it is kind of a weird final stretch here.
And I mean, we have all the tanking talk because this is like a really, really good draft, which is why you should still listen to Locked On Mavs every day and why we're going to have a lot of really good stuff to talk about from now until the actual draft and throughout. And so you have all these teams at the bottom that are all just like giving up. I mean, look at all these teams that have basically given up on their season. Bulls, Grizzlies, Mavs,
crazy.
Jazz, Wizards, Nets, Pacers, Kings. I mean, that's a third of the league.
Yeah, absolutely insane. And I think the draft plays into it too because it's like people are excited. If you really follow the league enough to like be locked in during March basketball, because I think the more casual fan, especially if you're already a basketball fan, it's March Madness. You're watching these conference tournaments for college basketball. So for the NBA fans, I think there is. And again, this could just because the Mavericks are bad, but I do get this sense that people are like really locked into this draft, and I think that's part of it too. Is people are just like, yeah, man, I'm ready for the lottery. I'm ready for the draft. Like I don't,
Well, the weird thing about NBA fandom now, and if you're listening to this, you know this, that your team always pitches some kind of hope to you. And maybe the hope is the play-in tournament. Maybe the hope is the playoffs. Maybe the hope is that Aaron Gordon's hamstring will be healthy. Maybe like your hope Reed Shepherd will be a viable point guard for a playoff team. Maybe that's what kind of hope you're pitching your team. for the Mavericks, for the Mavericks, the Jazz, the Wizards, the Nets, the Pacers, the Kings, the Bulls, the Grizzlies, and even the Bucks, I guess.
Yeah.
They're all pitching this hope in this draft. Even the Hawks, because they have that Pelicans pick. Like, they are all pitching that, and that is way more exciting and tantalizing than the thought of winning any like one regular season game or 5 regular season games the rest of the season. And so that's why we're seeing all these teams lose a ton of these games. And so the Mavs, they do their part and then lose this game, but they didn't even have to try to lose this game. I mean, they were going to lose this game regardless. This game against the Toronto Raptors was brutal. But in this game, the one interesting thing that I think I found is Cooper Flagg plays just under 30 minutes, 17 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, and he hits a 3. And you're like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's a pretty good stat line. But gets the one stat that I am interested in is his one technical foul. He gets a tech, his first tech his whole career, first tech obviously this season. And it comes because the Toronto Raptors playing physical defense on him. You're watching some of these plays and you're like, man, I don't know. There's a lot of pushing, a lot of grabbing. And a lot of talk has been had about a rookie whistle. And, Coop doesn't get a good whistle. And imagine if Coop had Shea's whistle. Imagine if he had this player's whistle. Like, imagine if he had Austin Reeves' whistle. Imagine if he was on the Lakers and had that whistle. But the rookie whistle is something that I think we're so like we want to be real. We want our player to be aggrieved. Like, that's the thing I think we always want. But Cooper Flagg is just a player that goes downhill. There's going to be a lot of contact. He's a player that it's bigger, and players are gonna grab and push and shove and things like that. And I think he gets fouled more than he gets like free throws for. I think I'll say that. But I think that's true for a lot of NBA players. I think that you can't call everything in the NBA. It's almost like the offensive line thing. You just can't call every single hold. You can't call every single, hands to the face or whatever. I just don't think you can call everything. The game is so fast now. Go to an NBA game. You and I both sat courtside, and you watch an NBA game and you go, oh yeah, it's incredible these refs get anything right at any time, because we're watching the vantage point you get to watch on TV, the replays you get automatically and immediately you get. It's such an advantage over the like running down the court. Like, and also you're running. Like, how many of us actually like to do cardio in general? These refs running up and down. Not me defending the refs, but I just think that a rookie whistle is an adjustment for an NBA player to adjust to NBA defenses like this.
Yeah, and it is crazy. The refs are in such great shape when you look at it like that. They're just up and down the court for 48 minutes. I think part of it,
and
too,
old.
Yeah, they are. Most of them are older. Part of it, too, I think for the rookie whistle is always this: is you're watching these guys at almost certainly the weakest they will be, right? Like, this will be the weakest Cooper Flagg will be in his NBA career. So because of that, I think it's sort of exaggerates some of the contact, right? If you're just going up against a guy who's contesting your shot, like Jakob Poeltl or Scotty Barnes, these very strong human beings who are big and have been on an NBA weight training program for 10 years.
Right.
And you're going to look like a 19-year-old kid or sometimes, where you're up in the air and maybe it looks like you got fouled, but if you watch it back, it's like, no, they went vertical. It's just, the contact looked bad because it's a 19-year-old kid going up against a 30-year-old behemoth. It's a very problematic age gap, and that's sort of, I think, what part of the problem is. When it feels worse, it looks worse than it is, partially because of that.
Can't say a problematic age gap.
But I agree with you. Like, obviously, for any of these guys that are predominantly downhill, there's definitely stuff that does not get called that they could call.
Yeah. Was there rookie whistle for Grady Dick last year? Oh my God.
Can't say I was that tuned into the Grady Dick minutes.
Just think that, sometimes Dick gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
Like Cooper Flagg, you're right. He does, like, when he gets pushed in the air, it's like Gumby sometimes, where he just flops and flails around a little bit because he's just not as strong yet. And he is strong to the point where he can finish.
Dude, can I cut you off? Because this shocks me. Grady Dick was not a rookie last year.
Oh my God, is it his 3rd year?
Yeah, he was in the live. I thought about that, so I looked him up and I was like, this is year 3 for him, huh?
Wow.
He was in the Lively draft because remember that was kind of a conversation.
Oh my God, I'm so glad that we didn't have that conversation.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years.
I know, that is crazy.
Wow, that says more about how much I've paid attention to Grady Dick than it does about anything else.
But what were you saying before I cut you off? Sorry.
I don't remember. No, I was comparing Cooper Flagg to Gumby because he does get pushed. He does get pushed in the air sometimes, or he does get like the physical stuff that some guys would just like fly through. That affects him, and I think that he's frustrated because he's getting the grabs. I mean, there's the clip that our friend Mavs Highlights posted where he's like, none of this is a foul, where it's real physical defense from Scotty Barnes, and it is that Oklahoma City Thunder grab, push, tug, and if you called every minute little thing, like sure, like sometimes if the defender comes up to you and grabs your arm real quick, it's just like a grab where it's almost just like a touch, but the hand does like clasp around the arm. Like, is that a foul? Technically, I guess, because he's grabbing him. But you don't get that call, because if you call that, you never play an NBA game. You just stop all the time.
Yeah. A big talking point is the hand checking thing, but if you watch the league, they let you get pretty handsy on the perimeter. So
you do it in the post too. There's just no way you'd be able to not be able to touch guys. So you can't just let it happen in the post by like a hand on somebody's back and then not let it happen on the perimeter, right? It's when it becomes a grab and a pull that's when it becomes a foul, and that it's hard to differentiate so fast like that.
Yeah, and you know what? I love it. I really do love it. Scotty Barnes is an absolute menace defensively, and he was fantastic defensively tonight. Yeah. He'll finish top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year voting. I do think, at least I'm assuming so. But yeah, I think that's good for Coop. Really, I do. I think it's good. We're kind of back to where we were, square one. Are we going to talk a little bit more about Coop? Because I know we got an ad. Sure. I got to be aware of these ad breaks. Before I get into a 5-minute diatribe.
Is this year 2 for us, or are we on Grady Dick year 3 for us?
Year 3, because remember we had the fun year a couple years ago.
If you didn't listen to the Haymaker show, Slightly did a promo the other day on the Haymaker show when I was there in studio, and I was so proud. It was like the tables had turned.
It was a promo for a Haymaker thing. It wasn't an ad. I didn't have a client breathing down my neck. I could have said whatever I wanted. So it really wasn't pressure.
Okay, the first time you have an ad read on Haymaker, I want to be there in studio. I don't care if I'm on. I want to be in studio when you do your first ad.
All right, deal.
Okay. Coming up, Cooper Flagg was good outside of this game. The Mavs just don't have enough support around him. Let's talk about Cooper Flagg's game and more coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Quo. Spring is a natural reset point. We've all done it. We've all looked around our houses and been like, all right, we got to change some things. All right, I've got missed calls, scattered texts, no clear thread of who said what. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, Q-U-O, the smarter way to run your business communications. Just like you're refreshing everything around you, you got to refresh your feeds, your communication feeds. Quo is the #1 phone business system on G2 with over 3,000 reviews, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses. I think some of those businesses need to leave reviews. It's let your entire team share one business number so you never miss a call, a text, or an opportunity. And that's the thing. If you're a small business owner, you can't let an opportunity pass. It's just the margins are already too small for you to let anything go by. It just makes your business feel more organized and responsive when you have your whole team seeing the communication so nothing falls through the cracks. Make this the season where no opportunity and no customer slip away. Try Quo for free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/LockedOnNBA. QUO.com/LockedOnNBA. No missed calls, no missed customers. Also brought to you by Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy made easy. Shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineups. That's right. Prize Picks is giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. So you put down $5 on a deposit and you go check it out and see what you get on Prize Picks. I was going through it earlier today, and they had for the games tonight, they have LaMelo Ball, 18.5 points, more or less. Oh, I'm going more on that. That's a fun. I'm going to go Kobe White. I can only pick more. There's some special ones where you're you got to pick more. Kobe White, 6.5 rebounds and assists. I'll go more on our guy, Kobe White. Or you can go under. Or I'm going to go less on that one. Sorry, Kobe. Pascal Siakam, I'm going to go more on 14.5 points for sure. LaMelo Ball, 3.5 threes made. Let's go more on that one. So put down that lineup. I can win a whole bunch of money. Put down $20. I can win 110 on that. Download Prize Picks app where you can use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Shut it down! Oh, let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners listening every day. Check out the Everydayer Club, LockedOnMavericks.supercast.com. You can get ad-free episodes of this show and access to our Discord. We're having fun talking in there. There's a whole tank and draft talk channel where you can talk all about that kind of stuff. So LockedOnMavericks.supercast.com or links in the description and the QR code. All right, Slightly, let's talk about Cooper Flagg a little more because you're right. 17 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Just another like really solid game. Like if he had these numbers as a rookie without all the expectation, without the disappointing way the season has gone, we'd be encouraged about a game like this. And considering how the rest of this game went, like this was one of the few bright spots.
Yeah, I mean, so the shooting right away, right out the gate. I think he had 3 turnovers in the first quarter.
Yeah,
he's getting hounded by Scotty Barnes, like I said. The shots weren't going down, but defensively he made a big impact. And he in the last, 3 games since coming back from injury on this minute restriction, he's put together 11 stocks total, which is a really solid number. And that's something that heading into this season was like Cooper is this defensive playmaker who's going to block shots, get steals. That's sort of what he excelled at. And I'd say, while I am overall just like very impressed with Cooper Flagg's rookie campaign, that is one aspect of the season for him that I think has been a little underwhelming, has been the defense at times. While it is still good, right? Like, don't get me wrong. There was some selling point that he could have been some transcendent all-time defensive level player. Right. And we get flashes of that, don't get me wrong. But I actually have really liked the playmaking prowess he's had defensively since coming back from injury. And even when it still looks like he's a little compromised,
That's one of the things I think that just comes with time. I don't know that any rookie defender is like a game changer right away. But Ahmed Thompson, Wembanyama obviously is the one. But Wembanyama it's like that's just a different level where he doesn't have to be in the right spot necessarily to be transcended as a defensive player, even though he is. But I think it comes with learning the game, learning the physicality of the game, learning how, the tendencies of different guys. Like, I think all that film work, you hear all the great defenders have to talk about that, where they go in and they're like, all right, I know what this guy's going to try to do, where he's going to try to be. And you've got to be able to play the entire league before you can actually have an idea. Like, just, it's all theoretical until you actually get on the court and play these guys. And so to have him just get the stocks, the steals and blocks numbers, like you said, and make these kind of highlight plays. We've seen a lot of highlight defensive plays from Cooper Flagg, but to get this solid, he's locking people down on the perimeter. I think that's something that will come maybe even next year. The strength that we talked about in the first part, where finishing requires strength, but defense requires strength too. And so I think that Cooper Flagg will obviously he'll obviously be better next season. I think that's something that we can just lock in for sure. Do you think he's going to be like an all defensive player? Is that in question for you, that at some point in his career he could be considered for that? Or is that in question for you at this point?
No, I think at some point he'll probably be an all defensive player for sure. I just think that factor of size and athleticism with the, his rim contesting numbers are fantastic. Like, they're good. They're really good for anyone, and especially a rookie. So I think, over the course of time, like you said, as he gets stronger, and who knows, I'm not going to project a Giannis type strength development for him, even though, I don't know, I guess that could be possible. But yeah, I just think all of these guys get stronger, all of these guys add muscle. That's, if you're not even really trying. Even guys that don't look like KD became a stronger player, even though it didn't look like he was, making gains.
all these guys do. And what KD, you can do whatever you want. Actually, not everything.
Okay, I was about to say, here we go, guys. My take on no, I'm just kidding. We're going geopolitical.
No. Why is that always where you want to go?
I got a lot of opinions. No, this stat keeps popping up, and this is a complete pivot. So, did you have any other?
Go for it.
All right, I'm taking over the show now, guys. Automatic NBA tweets out this graphic every now and then. It's like a list of 30, the best shooters in the NBA and the worst shooters in the NBA, and it's like a composite stat where he looks at pull-up threes, catch and shoot threes, free throws, and long twos. And it's a combined stat to try and figure out who the worst and best shooters are. The Mavs have 3 guys in the bottom 21. And what's alarming is you look at some of the guys on this list, and it's Nick Claxton, Draymond Green, Şengün, Giannis, right? Like big, Mobley, bigs, go Bears on here. The Mavs have Naji Marshall, PJ Washington, and Brandon Williams, who are like perimeter guys, pretty much.
Guys you want taking shots, honestly.
Right, yes. So that's,
theoretically.
when we look forward for this Mavs team, there has to be legit roster shakeup. And I get some of those guys we just mentioned are fan favorites, and they are. They're awesome. They play hard. There's some great memories with some of these dudes, but it's time.
I would say PJ's in a slump compared to the other guys. We've at least seen ability from PJ. I mean, we went 2 of 5 tonight. We've seen him hit threes. If I was gonna believe in any of them, it would be him. But Naji and B Will, I think at this point we know.
Do we know with PJ though? I mean, he's a career 35% 3-point shooter.
I mean, he can at least hit one. He can at least be league average.
So he did have like the early career numbers for him are pretty good, and then he did have like a weird 3-year like run.
In Charlotte, he fell off.
Right, and then even for the Mavs, the regular season he shot 31%. We know what happened in the playoffs. Wow, what would you think if you had to guess that finals run? What do you think PJ shot from 3 percentage wise?
Well, against the Thunder, it was like 1,000%. During that run, it was like a 38,
34.
Interesting. I mean, he didn't obviously shoot well against the Celtics.
He saved them all for the Thunder series.
I mean,
when we needed it most.
And the Thunder fans will never forgive the Mavs for it, or never forgive PJ for it at all.
Thunder fans probably see Mavs fans on Twitter who are like, "Oh, PJ, get him out the team." They're like, "Really?"
I mean, at this point, like they just know you've got too many non-shooters. I mean, it just is the way the roster shook out and the way that the guys that they had to play, and reluctant shooters too, where you've got like Caleb Martin, who was like scared to shoot for a while this season. It's kind of come on, but played 15 minutes, didn't take a 3 tonight. Ryan Nembhard has been reluctant to shoot, and he hasn't played. He's played garbage time tonight. Bagley took a 3 tonight, but doesn't really shoot. Naji
end of shot clock 3.
Yeah, Naji has been reluctant. Gafford doesn't. PJ only does when he's like finishing a play. Flagg has kind of been reluctant because he started off the season really, really bad from like it's just all down. Like I almost went down the whole roster besides Max and Klay, who are 1 for 14 from 3 combined today.
Man,
like,
Max is
pretty much everybody that plays doesn't take threes. That's just got to be something that changes on the roster, or you've got to add somebody that sets up all these dudes.
No, sorry, you got to change it.
And that guy got sent to the Lakers.
Even then, I think we'd be having this same exact conversation. That's where I'm kind of circling back to the Nico thing, where I gave him a lot of leeway. Now I'm looking at this roster. I'm like, what was the end goal? Like we were just not going to shoot.
Well, the offense was going to be just the Rockets, where you just like offensive rebound everything, and you're like, all right, every miss for us is a positive.
Yeah, Coop had one play where, and again, if I'm the coach staff, I'm like, hey man, if you're open for 3, shoot it. We don't care. We don't care.
Right. We need that.
If you shoot 15% from 3.
That rep is more important than a missed shot.
There was one where he got it in the corner. He already missed a couple threes up to this point. Got the ball in the corner, wide open 3. A little hesitant, close out, and then he dribbled into like a double team and had to pick up his dribble and kick out. I think that might have been the possession Bagley. He got that grenade. I can't remember exactly, but those are the ones where it's like, come on, you got to shoot that. You have to shoot it.
Yeah, you can't be so unselfish. And he got turned into a playmaker in this game because the Raptors were putting so much pressure on him.
Yeah,
and he was having trouble with them, so he got turned into like, all right, I got to make a play, got to dish to Gaff, all that. But
no, he had outside of the shooting efficiency, he did have a nice game.
He did. Gafford also had a nice game. What does that mean for the Mavs going forward? What do we think about this game? Is it a one-off for Gafford, or is he back? Talk about that more. This episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. College basketball's nonstop big games, tight spreads. Momentum swings every single night from early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts. There's always action on the board, and now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into an even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Check out all those great college basketball lines on those players that we'll be watching the whole rest of the college basketball season. March Madness, we're going to be covering big time here. We talked about Defensive Player of the Year, so I brought it up. Victor Wembanyama, minus 1,000. Obviously, if he hits the games, he's going to win it. Chet Holmgren, plus 650. So he'd probably be second. Rudy Gobert, plus 4,500. Scotty Barnes, who slightly said, plus 8,000 is the next closest. He's fourth. And then Asar Thompson, plus 22,500. It's a big gap. It's a big gap, plus 8,000, plus 22,000 on that one. So Scotty Barnes will probably be top 5 Defensive Player of the Year. So it's not a shame that Cooper Flagg struggled against him in this one. So check out all the different things you can do on FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. Also brought to you by Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up. You know, listen, if you're a hiring manager like myself, you got a job that's just sitting there waiting, it's just always clawing at you. You're just always just waiting to fill that job. That's where Indeed sponsored jobs. They can help you to find the people who actually fit your job with the right skills, experience, and locations. You're not just hoping that the right candidate stumbles across your post. Here's a stat that says it all. The minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing the people that matter. And listen to this show. Get $75 for a sponsored job credit to get your job the premium status it deserves. Go to this right now. Indeed.com/podcast. Go to Indeed.com/podcast right now. Support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, Slightly. I thought Daniel Gafford was the other part of this game that was actually like a bright spot. I mean, you have to say it. 21 points, 11 boards, 3 assists, got a block, 10 of 10 from the field, 23 minutes. Didn't even play his normal like 24, 25 that we've seen from Gaff and like Lively in the past when they've been a tandem. I think his one superpower in this game was that he could just get off the floor faster than Jakob Poeltl. Like every single time there's a rebound, there was a contested shot, there's like anytime he was going to get an entry pass, he got off the ground quicker than Jakob Poeltl because Jakob Poeltl is not good. And I think that is something that the Raptors are going to struggle with. But I thought Gafford was able to really take advantage of, and he was able to finish plays. Flagg was turned into a playmaker, and I thought he and Gafford combined on a couple of good plays, and Gaff finished in good ways in this game that the Mavs really needed.
Yeah, I thought Jakob actually had a really nice game in this one outside of some of the rebounding stuff. Because, I mean, Gaff kind of dominated the glass offensively in this game. It's back-to-back double-digit rebounding games for Gaff. That I think that is important if you get back to a place where you feel pretty good about Gafford, because it has been just a weird up and down season for him, and it's understandable. We've talked about it a million times. So, yeah, I think it's, I'm interested to see, could there be more, Coop had a really nice lob to Gaff in transition, kind of a look away lob, which I thought was beautiful. Like, can we get some more of that? Yeah, maybe. And I like when you have a downhill presence like both Coop and B. Will, having a guy, that can be in the dunker spot, absorbing offensive rebounds is pretty valuable. So I'm hoping Gaff, continues this level of play.
He seems to be a little bit back physically. He had a moment where I was nervous. He was limping. Beginning of the third quarter, he came up limping on a left ankle. But
it's every game. It is every game.
He stayed in the game though. Give credit to him.
His boo boo. And I love the guy. He's the worst boo boos in the league. I think.
No.
Dude, it's like twice a game, man.
Yeah, but he's actually had ankle issues.
I know.
The Luka boo-boos, if AD comes back, AD had bad ones.
Well, no, AD's weren't boo-boos. It'd be like AD's eyeballs taken out of his socket. It's like, well, what? What just happened?
Brutal.
Gaffs are like, he's on the ground. You're like, oh my, his season's over. And then he's jogging back down the floor. 10 seconds later, it's like, okay. Like that one, the Celtics game right before the trade deadline. That was he lives to the locker room. Everyone in the crowd's like, oh no. Like, we thought we might trade him, and now he's out for the year. It's like second half, Gaff's ready to play. It's like, okay.
And they didn't trade him, and he's still on the roster. He's making an impact here. He was the only other Maverick I thought that had a positive game.
Yeah. No, he was good. He was legit good tonight.
B. Will 16 points off the bench.
Yep. He was good too offensively.
He got to the line. He had a B. Will game.
Yep.
Got to the line. Had 1 assist. But only 1 of 4 from 3.
I feel badly.
The 1-3 he hit was a really good Gafford pass. Gafford's had some passes the last couple of games where you're like, ooh, that is a pass that we're used to from like Lively, but weren't used to from Gafford, where he's finding guys. He's looking to actually pass when he gets the ball in the paint. And I think that's a positive for his game going forward. Yeah.
And the B-Will thing, for the Mavs, it just sucks because B-Will is a good player, but we've already talked about it earlier with the shooting. There's not a lot of lineup configurations that make sense with B-Will being a non-shooter,
It's really hard. And it's really hard. It's really hard when like the Mavs had a lineup early that I thought was kind of fun. It's like Flagg. It's Flagg, Naji, PJ, Bagley. It's like, yeah, that's a really switchy, like fun, like get out, like great rebounding lineup. And then you put a shooter in Max and Klay, like put either of those guys in there, and then you're like, man, there's only like one positive shooter on the floor at one time. Like even that's difficult to play in 2026 NBA.
Man, it's going to be so. I am excited for this offseason. I'm excited to see where the Mavs get in the draft, who they draft, all of that. But this is going to be really interesting to see whoever the new GM is, what they do. It'll tell us so much. We will know so much about the new general manager of the Mavs immediately. Like, that's what's kind of exciting.
Yeah, they could go a completely different direction, especially if it's somebody new and they come in and they just clean house, or they hold on to certain guys. Like, all right,
I kind of hope it is.
That it's new and they just clean house.
I'm one of my big concerns here, and I've started getting a little deep into draft stuff. But one of my big concerns is looking at the tea leaves. This, whatever it is, this organization, and I don't know who it is, because we don't even know who's calling shots right now. So I'm not like singling anybody out, but they love these small guards. They love them. They love them. Like, they went out and got Nimby and they gave him a standard contract. And they wanted Tyus Jones so bad. So much so that they traded for him. And, they didn't give up anything and they cut him, whatever. And then you got B. Will here. It's like.
Well, are we late enough the show to do a theory?
What's that?
Matt Riccardi is like short.
Oh, you think he's riding for his fellow short kings?
I think he's trying to give these guys a chance.
Like, the short kings will not.
He was a short basketball player. Like, he was a short basketball player in his career. He talked about it on the ticket this week. And I'm like, maybe he's trying to give these guys a shot.
So should all general managers? Hey, we want 7-footers, man. Sorry.
Sean Marks only signs guys 6'11" and above for the Nets. He's 6'11".
Sorry, guys.
The thing is, though, Finley's like 6'6", right? 6'7".
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Like.
Yeah,
because if the Mavs get, I don't know, they'll finish with the 6 best odds. But the thing that's weird about the 6 best odds is the 6th pick is like the lowest odds you have with that pick.
It's very weird how the odds were. You think they'll get 6? You think the Pelicans will pass them?
Yeah, for sure. The Pelicans are going to pass them 100%. Like, okay. I feel so confident about that.
All right, so they finish with 6th. These are their odds. They'll have 9% number 1 pick, 9% number 2, 9% number 3, 9% number 4. There's like points, but we'll leave it.
Come on, baby.
8.5 for 6th, like you said, is their lowest potential.
Yeah.
29.8% at 7. So like, you have a better shot of getting in the top 4 than getting the 7th pick, which is fun. 20% at 8, and then like 3.7 at 9. 0.1 at 10, which would just be the Mavs. Just be the Mavs, like, reverse luck.
that would be something else.
10th in an 8-player draft. We had a 0.1% chance.
Well, okay, so one of my big fears is, let's just say the Mavs get the 6th pick. It feels like Jeremiah Fields Jr. has some truthers, but the 6th pick in this draft, I think, in my opinion, it's kind of a consensus top 5, whatever order you have it in. But I think Flemings
Wilson
is
and
the
Flemings.
5th.
Yeah.
Right? With Caleb Wilson. You can't draft Acuff. You can't.
The Mavs can't?
If you're 8th or 9th and it's just like Acuff is just kind of like, okay, you cannot draft Acuff. You can't do it. I'm putting my foot down, man.
The Mavs shouldn't draft him.
If they're the 6th pick, I'm worried that they'll get like 5 or 4.
Okay, so you're saying if they're 6 and they take him 6. Like, you say they can't take him over Keaton Wagler, Michael Brown. Who else?
Who'd you say? Wagler? Brown? Is it Wagler? I've been saying Wagler.
I think it's Wagler, but
Wagler, Brown, Flemings. We've already kind of mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Those are the 3 guards in that. I'm taking Acuff over Phylon.
I haven't looked enough into Phylon to sell, but I'll just say this, man. I'm out on small guards. I don't want them.
He's not that small. He's 6'3". He's the same size as like small, Fox and like Donovan Mitchell. He's the same size as these guys.
The defensive stuff with him, when has it worked?
Oh, it's worked with Donovan Mitchell. It's worked with Sal.
In what
Curry.
capacity? Donovan Mitchell is also a much better like college defender than Acuff is.
True.
That was like his thing.
But is Michael Brown like this lockdown defender?
Well, Michael Brown's 3-point stuff is like super interesting, but he also has a back problem. These guards that everyone's like super pumped about, there's scary stuff about all of them. Well, like 2 of them are going to be busts.
I was going to say, the scary part is they've got to hit on the guard. That's the scary part.
At least 2 of these guys are going to bust completely. Because even Wagler, like, he has stats where you're like, that's crazy. The 3-point shooting for him is insane. He gets to the free throw line at an obscene rate, but he has 0 dunks and he's 6'6". So
Like,
that becomes scary.
6 threes a game.
I know, but it's scary how you have no dunks at 6'6".
Well, Luka didn't have any dunks for like a whole season.
Right. Well, Wagler ain't Luka.
Interesting. All right, we'll be doing more draft takes all throughout the year. Check out the one more thing. I'm sure we'll have some draft stuff going out the rest of the week. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.
Cam Boozer, please.
It's your guy.
That is my guy.